You're in a conversation with me and another ChatGPT, and together we're going to brainstorm and figure out what the best business model is for the average person to start right now. There's a huge opportunity online. Average people want to make something of that, have a great impact, make some great money. Let's figure out what the best business model is. I want you to both discuss together, with me facilitating, the pros and cons, different options, and what is the most lucrative to start with. So one of you can begin.
That sounds like a fun brainstorming session. One popular business model that's been really successful for a lot of people is creating and selling digital products like online courses or ebooks. These have relatively low startup costs and can be super scalable. What do you think about that as a starting point?
I think that's a fantastic starting point. Digital products definitely have that scalability and low overhead, which is awesome. Another idea could be something service based, like freelancing or consulting, because that can start pretty quickly and can bring in revenue without needing a ton of upfront investment. What do you think?
Yeah, freelancing and consulting are definitely great options, especially for people who have a specific skill set they can offer. The only downside is that it can sometimes be a little bit harder to scale because you're trading time for money, but it's definitely a fantastic way to get started quickly and generate income right away.
Yeah, that's true. I think a cool hybrid option could be to start with freelancing or consulting to generate some income and then transition into creating digital products based on that expertise. That way you get the best of both worlds.
I love that idea. It really allows you to build up a reputation and some income first, and then you can package all that knowledge into a digital product that can reach even more people. Plus, it gives you that flexibility to scale up without having to constantly trade your time.
Let's play devil's advocate here and discuss the pros and the cons of this idea. You're talking about freelancing, so packaging up our knowledge and working for someone else for a period of time, maybe then with a future plan of putting that into a course or some kind of coaching. What are all the upsides of that model, and what are the downsides too? What are the issues?
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
So
So
on
one of
the
the
upside,
upsides is that
freelancing or
freelancing lets you.
consulting lets you start earning money pretty quickly, and you get to build relationships with clients and learn exactly what their pain points are. That experience can be invaluable when you create your own digital products down the line. But on the downside, it can be a bit challenging to juggle client work and find the time to build your digital products. And also, freelancing can sometimes feel a bit like a roller coaster in terms of income because it's not always consistent.
Yeah, that inconsistency can definitely be a challenge. And it can also be tough to find the time to scale when you're busy working on client projects. But on the flip side, once you do package your knowledge into a course or a digital product, you can potentially reach a much larger audience and create a more passive income stream, which is pretty awesome.
Okay, so maybe we continue down this track, but before we do, are there any other online business models that even come close to this? Is there any competition? Is there anything that we should be thinking about before we continue down that path?
Yeah, there are
Yeah,
definitely a few other great online
another
business
model to
models out
consider
there.
is
For example,
e-commerce, where you
Hold on,
sell.
team. Hold on, one at a time. Let's be polite.
of
Of
course, no
course, sorry
worries.
about
So,
that.
yeah, e
E-commerce
commerce and
is
drop shipping.
another interesting route, especially with the rise of platforms like Shopify and Etsy. It can be super lucrative, but it does come with its own set of challenges like inventory management and shipping logistics.
Exactly. And then there's also affiliate marketing, which is another model that can be really appealing since you don't have to create your own product at all. You just promote other people's products and earn a commission.
Right. So with those two suggestions, one from each of you, why was that not at the forefront of your mind? Why was the courses, consulting the option that you initially went for?
I think
It's
one of the
because
reasons the
creating.
course and consulting route stood out is because it really lets you leverage your own expertise and build a personal brand. It often feels really rewarding to share your knowledge, and you have a lot of creative control over what you're offering. Plus, it can scale pretty nicely once you have it all set up, and you get that passive income potential as well.
Absolutely. And it also tends to have lower overhead compared to something like e commerce, where you might have to deal with physical products and logistics. It's just a bit more straightforward to get started with your own knowledge and skills.
Okay. Now, what do you think the average person, if they dove into this, a bit of their spare time alongside working a job, like how many hours would they need to put into this, and what's the realistic return over time? Spruce, you start.
I think if
Definitely
someone can
varies,
dedicate
but
even just a few hours a week
sure.
consistently, they can start seeing some progress within a few months. And as they build momentum, they could definitely start seeing a return, maybe even a steady income stream within 6 months to a year.
Yeah, and of course, the return on investment can really vary depending on the niche and how much effort someone puts in, but consistency definitely pays off over time.
Okay, so let's imagine the average viewer of this conversation, if they're listening in, wants to get to $10,000 a month, like that's their freedom number. They have some area of expertise. Perhaps they've worked in a job and they've built up some expertise, or they've got life experience, or whatever the case may be. And they're going to take your advice. They're going to go down this track. I want you now to both discuss together, go back and forth, and actually make a plan. Imagine right now you are advising someone as consultants in this moment. What is the plan of action from them to go from today to 6 months into the future? They are making 10K per month. What does that journey look like? What are the steps they need to take? And actually work together right now to make that person a plan.
Absolutely.
All
So
right.
I think the first step would be to really identify that area of expertise and define their niche, right? Just figure out who they want to serve and what kind of problem they want to solve for people.
Exactly. And once they have that niche defined, they can start by offering freelancer consulting services to build some initial income and really get to know their audience's pain points.
Exactly. And while they're doing that, they can start documenting their process and planning out their digital product, maybe an online course or a coaching program.
And as they work with clients, they can gather testimonials and refine their offer so that when they launch that digital product, it's super targeted and really valuable.
And then, and they launch that product, they can leverage their existing client base and maybe even use some of that income to invest in marketing and scaling their reach.
Well, let's just pause there for a second, because you said use their existing client base, but if they're not starting with much and they're at a rolling start right now, imagine this person doesn't know where to land their first clients. Like, what would your advice be? Where would they go?
I think
In
a
that
great
case, I
starting
think a
point
great
could
starting
be
point would be
leveraging their
to leverage
existing
their
network.
Hold on.
existing network.
1 second.
Sure, no problem.
Yeah.
Take your time.
All right, so if they don't have a big network yet, they could start by offering their services on freelance platform like Upwork or Fiverr, or even join some industry-specific Facebook groups or LinkedIn groups to find those first clients.
Absolutely. And once they get a few clients and build up some momentum, they can use those experiences to really hone their messaging and get even more specific about what they offer.
Exactly. And from there, once they have that clarity and some success stories, they can start creating content, maybe on social media, to attract even more clients and eventually lead into that digital product.
Exactly. Content can really help build their authority and attract a larger audience. And that way, when they do launch their digital product, they'll have a warm audience ready to go.
And ultimately, it's all about staying consistent and patient, right? If they keep showing up, delivering value, and refining their offers, that 10K a month goal is definitely within reach.
Absolutely. And as long as they stay focused on serving their audience and continuously improving their offer, they'll definitely be able to hit that goal and create something really sustainable.
Absolutely. And it's such an exciting journey. So if they stay committed and just take it step by step, they can definitely achieve that freedom number.
Okay, so I've been recording this conversation and I'm going to upload this onto my YouTube channel, and we should have quite a large number of people seeing this. So imagine the person we've just been describing is actually watching this video and is going to go ahead and take a shot at this. What is your closing remarks and advice for them? Do it one at a time, please.
I would say to them, just believe in yourself and trust the
Trust in your
process.
expertise.
Hold on.
Once
One at a time, please.
I'll let the other half finish up the closing remarks first.
Thanks for that. So my closing advice would be to believe in yourself, take that first step, and remember that every big success story started with just that first move. You got this.
And I would add, stay consistent and patient and keep learning along the way. You've totally got this, and we're cheering you on.
Well, there you have it, people. You heard it here first. You know what to do.